Hi everyone. In the previous class, we have seen concept of serialization and deserialization, right? Along with a simple example, right? So in this class, we'll try to see a predefined keyword called transient keyword, which is useful while performing a kind of serialization, right? Let me comes with the scenario. Before moving to scenario, what does the serialization do? Which is going to take object as input and trying to saving that object into a file or sending over a network or saving into the database, right? So if I'm trying to save it into a file, for example, as per the earlier class example, if height and section are there in the object and trying to save in the file, there might not be any kind of problem. Assume, for example, if the object contains height and password are there, if I am going to save into the file, some people might read this data and can they able to know what is the password they have saved it or not? Yes, fine. That is a problem what we are going to face in this particular scenario. For that, what we can do, instead of saving both height and password, I will save only height and I will save my password as some default value. I don't want to save the actual thing. If you want to have this kind of requirement, I will go with the transient keyword. Means, let me write once again. Transient is a kind of a predefined keyword, or I can say it as a modifier which is applicable at variable level. And what is the use of it? If you don't want to save the data, save the data, what is the data? If you don't want to save the variable, then I can go for transient keyword, right? Fine. So let me try to explain with an example so that you can get clear idea. See, these are the things that I have explained in the previous class. I don't want to go with all. Let me try to remove all the things. Yes, fine. Now this is what actually happening, right? So let me try to execute it once again. Right. So end of file exception you are going to get. So this is because of line number 35, right? So after, as we are trying to read only one object, and after reading that object, the file is done, and we are trying to read once again the another file. So you are going to get as end of the file exception. Let me try to execute it once again. Yes, data copied successfully into the file, and you are going to get height 5 and section 6. Now my requirement is, observe, instead of it as a section, assume that it is going to be a kind of password. It's going to be a password. If I'm going to execute it again, height is 5, unsolved compilation error at line number 37. What has happened here? Right, so I think here it will be overridden method, you have to modify it. ToString method you have to modify it, right? Now we got height as 5 and section 6. Assume that this is going to be actually a password. I don't want to save this value into the file. Then what I can do? I can make use of it as a keyword called transient keyword. If I make it as a transient keyword, what will happen? While performing serialization, it is not going to save into the file. Instead, it's going to place the default value. Observe, you got height value as 5 and section value as 0. That is the thing what you can observe in the transient keyword. If I am going to use it for the same here also, for both of them it is going to variables, it is not going to save the values. That's it. Fine. Sir, why then can I use this transient keyword with respect to static variable? Observe, let me go with placing with static variable. Guys, static variable is what kind of variable? Is a kind of class level variable, right? Means before creating an object itself, it is going to create its value, right? Then is there any effect of the transient keyword? Can you understood? So there will be no effect on the transient keyword when you are going to go with the static keyword, because Static keyword is a class level variable. Transient keyword is going to be applicable once you created object for it, right? So there is no effect. Can I go with the final variable instead? Is there an effect of final variable with the transient keyword? Again, there is no effect because final variable is going to do what? While doing the compilation, wherever the password is there, it is going to replace with the actual value. It is going to replace with the actual value, right? So that actual value it is not going to affect. So you have to understand, right? Which means that if I say in terms of the clear explanation, so the static variable and transient keyword, if you are going to use it, there will be no effect. Means my data is going to be saved into the file. Similarly, if I am going with the final and transient keyword, again there is no effect. Why there is no effect? Because during the compilation time only, the variable value is going to replace with what? Actual value, right? That's the reason there is no effect. Hope I understood clearly. Thank you.